It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, folks, if you look on that gigantic, sharp, interactive board, you'll see a couple of pictures. One of the pictures is a tailgate party. The other picture, it says first date. Above those pictures, it says this: successive first dates and perpetual tailgate parties. The print industry's Achilles heel. Successive first dates and perpetual tailgate parties. The print industry's Achilles heel. And now I need to explain to you what the hell I'm talking about, because I think some of you are thinking, Ray, what are you talking about? Has Ray gone crazy? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to put yourself at a meeting, the last meeting you went to, or maybe a meeting that's upcoming, and you're going to go to the meeting. And what's the purpose of the meeting? Is the purpose of the meeting to have a tailgate party? Or is the purpose of the meeting to actually learn things, develop skills? When you meet with an organization that's trying to help you diversify into something like IT as an example, is that meeting another first date? So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me share my thoughts with you. Tailgate parties. Why don't the players show up at the pregame tailgate party? I mean, where's the players? A player coming up to the back of your SUV and saying, hey, give me a burger. I want to eat that before I get out on the field. No. Because, see, the players realize, they can go to a party maybe after the game and they win, but only after they have the post-game strategy meeting. But most people that are playing to win, they don't focus on tailgate parties. What they focus on is strategy meetings. And those players are right now in a strategy meeting while you're shoving hot dogs and hamburgers down your throat. And they're trying to figure out how to win a game, how to maintain as a champion or become a champion. That's what they're doing in that strategy meeting. That coach is sharing with them details, complex strategy. And that coach expects those players to understand that, to prepare for that, to practice for that. That coach is going to hold them accountable in that strategy meeting. I assure you, that coach, when he's talking about strategies, isn't showing this diagram. Hey, you throw the ball to him and you run into the end zone. Okay? And sometimes I think that's what the print industry strategies are. They go to the meeting and it's like, hey, you just throw the ball to him and get in the end zone. And you're like, well, wait a minute, what about all the details for that to work? What's the practice schedule? What's the capabilities of the catcher? What are the protectors or the blockers? What's their track record? I need more details. Because people that play to win, they always want the details. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what the coach is showing them. It's a complicated deal. It's a strategy. That coach is preparing those players. That coach is sharing with those players the weaknesses of the other team. That coach is sharing with the players the strengths and weaknesses of their own team. That coach is preparing those players to be champions, to win. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the print industry to limit its tailgate parties and get in strategy meetings based on accountability. When you're talking strategy, have the details like that coach. It's not about, hey, you throw the ball and you run into the end zone. Now let's talk about first dates. Holy crap. I've been watching the industry, the print industry, trying to get into IT for almost 15 years, right? 15 years. It's been a miserable disaster for the most part. And when I look at some of the players that are helping the industry move into IT services, I start thinking to myself, are they ever going to get out of the first date? They're just like on a first date all the time. And we know on a first date, well, let me just put it to you this way. I think everybody can understand this. When you're on a first date, you're never going to ask the question, do these jeans make me look fat? And you're sure as hell never going to answer the question if it's asked. With any kind of honesty, right? You see, you got to get past the first date in a relationship so you can build trust and honesty. And unfortunately, I think a lot of our industry is working with folks that are keeping them in a first date. Let me share some examples of that. Using the industry's actors to translate a language they don't comprehend. I see this happen all the time. You got some folks in the IT space and they want to get into the print space, so what do? They look for folks in the print space so that they can help them translate the IT space in the language of print for the print people. It's absurdity. If the print people want to get into the IT space, they need to learn the language of the IT space. They don't need to have it translated through those in the print space. It's lunacy. And the industry's been doing it for way too damn long. Here's another side. Courting the industry over correcting the industry's course. Again, if you're always on the first date, you're not going to start doing any critiquing, right? You're not going to say, yeah, those genes kind of indicate you should be on a diet. You see, that kind of stuff happens in the relationship. But unfortunately, if you listen to how some of these organizations still talk to the dealers, they're still on the first date. Ladies and gentlemen, successful business relationships are not successive first dates. And too many people believe the only way they can maintain a relationship is to continue, well, to be dishonest, to hide and lie. Successful business relationships are not successive first dates. The unaccountable distractions are the roadblocks to accomplishments. The industry has way too many tailgate parties, and they need to stop having the tailgate parties, and when they get together, make them real strategy, real defined strategy based on accountability with real data and science. And folks, you got to get out of these first dates. If you're not willing to take the relationship to the next level, then the consultant firm or whoever you're doing business with, guess what? You probably need to find another first date. But when you do, make sure you don't stay on it forever. And everybody watching me knows this: status quo is the killer of all that will be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all on Monday.